And that's where the hiatus will start. And you can see right here the reaction from Mark Cuban when he got.
What is up, guys? Candace B here. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. Welcome back to my subscribers and welcome to my new ones. So in today's video, I thought that I would do an analysis video. I feel like I haven't done one of these in a long time, and to be honest with you, it's fun for me. Like, you know, when I'm bored and I'm at home just chilling in my bed, I honestly just go straight to the charts and I just start to practice. I'll look at different types of currencies, indices, commodities, it doesn't matter. I will look at different charts and just practice and analyze them and see setups. And I feel like this is beneficial to anybody, to be honest with you, just to take time every day, a few hours a day if you can, and just look at charts, analyze charts, study patterns, study candlesticks. This is how you get your chart time in. This is how you get your eyes accustomed to what is going on in the markets. And to be honest with you, I would say that 99% of the time, the work that you put into trading should be done when you are not actively trading. A lot of the time is when you are back testing, when you're reviewing charts, when you're just analyzing, you're reviewing your trades, your wins and your losses. This is where the work goes. You know, it's easy just to press a button and enter a buy or a sell. You have to understand what you're doing beforehand. So this is what I like to do, honestly, in my free time as much as I can. And I encourage you guys to do it as well if you haven't incorporated this into kind of your routine, your regimen. Just look at charts, you know, even if it's 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, just do it every day and you'll realize that you're building up consistency and you're building up chart time. And you will notice that things start to look clearer when you're actually ready to trade. So yeah, so today I thought that it would be pretty fun just to analyze something different. Usually I'm analyzing currencies on my channel, but I thought that it would be cool to analyze the index, the Dow Jones, and that's also known as the US30 to most people. And basically what the US30 is that it measures the performance of the 30 largest publicly owned companies that are listed on the New York Stock Exchange. So, you know, Microsoft, Apple, McDonald's, all of those big brands that you hear about every single day and you see commercials about. This index measures the top 30. So yeah, it's a very, very price weighted type of index. You know, it moves intensely and it is not for the faint of heart. I will be the first one to say that. Now, as a disclaimer, of course, how I will be analyzing this chart is simply just how I personally analyze things. So, you know, it's not like this is the exact way to analyze an index. To be honest, I approach indexes similarly to how I approach currencies in terms of how I, you know, mark up the charts. I know that indexes are obviously way more fundamentally based, but I still look at structure either way. So yeah, this is just kind of me going through the thought process. This is not like me seriously looking for a setup. I'm literally just practicing. This is just practice. You know, it's the evening at the end of the week on a Thursday night. So yeah, this is just super chill, but I just want to kind of show you guys and, you know, let you hear my thought process as I look at this, and let me know, you know, comment down below if you want me to do more chart analysis videos and whatnot. So yeah, let us do our top-down analysis. I don't want to make this a long video, but of course I ramble. So right now I'm just looking at the overall structure. We are on the highest time frame, the monthly. I'm gonna do some top-down analysis, and as you can see, yeah, this has been just a very, very obviously growing index. The companies that are involved in this index have been growing steadily over the past how many decades and whatnot. So this is really just really pretty to look at, in my opinion. It's just clear that it's an uptrend. And as you can see though, recently 2020 has really kind of stirred things up a bit. So that's kind of interesting to see, you know, how all these years it's been just, you know, slowly moving up, very gradual. You know, anyone who has invested in any of these stocks like McDonald's or Coca-Cola or Apple, you know, they've been seeing these consistent gains, and then now all of a sudden, boom, you know, obviously the pandemic has really affected things and have kind of stirred things up and no one really expected this. So it's really interesting to kind of get a visual and see. You hear so many things in the news, but actually seeing price and seeing what has happened, I feel like that is super cool. And, you know, for visual people like myself, it kind of makes things clearer and it kind of tells a story of what really has been happening in the markets. So let's go down to the weekly and see what's going on here. Yeah, this was a huge drop. Literally, this is exactly when the pandemic hit and boom, like no time wasted. Price really just plummeted. So if we're mainly focusing on the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, these past few months, we see that price really was just making these consistent uptrend moves, these consistent moves to the upside. You know, if you were someone who, let's say, bought some stocks here, then you'd be in a really, really good kind of return on investment during all this time, beginning of 2020. But then, of course, the pandemic hit and really price capped out at this area. And this is around 29,628. And then it just plummeted and there was no hesitation. These are just completely bearish moves to the downside. And this is the weekly. So this is every single week just pushing down. So I know a lot of people were panicking. This is definitely a visual representation of people just being very, very scared and selling their stocks, you know, just in the economy. Just taking kind of a turn for the worst when everything was so indecisive and confusing and everyone was running around. And this is really what happened. You know, all the companies, McDonald's, all these places where you would be going on a regular basis, they're losing business. So this is a crazy, crazy drop to even look at. And I know we all know the saying, what goes up must come down, and vice versa. So of course, when price pushed down, then it starts to correct itself. So, and of course with the stock market, there are ebbs and flows. So of course there will be corrections and pushes further up. So really this is something that, you know, is not surprising. The market is capable of doing something like this. It's surprising how much it dropped, I guess you can say, but it's not surprising that it did drop. So now you can see that, of course, price is correcting itself like it always does. Doesn't matter if it's a recession or whatever the case may be, the market will always correct itself eventually. It just depends on how long it takes. So as you can see, it was around mid-March that price kind of bottomed out at this area around, 18,000. And then it started to retrace. And since then, it's really been pushing up, trying to gain traction to keep moving forward in that positive direction. So that's what I'm seeing kind of from the weekly, how I interpret it. So let's go down to the daily and see. And I'm kind of keeping this area here. I'm just going to draw kind of a zone here, just because this is where kind of all the craziness happened. So it would be interesting to see what happens when price kind of gets to this area again, as it looks like it's doing. So as you can see, you know, price is making those higher lows and higher highs, not as cleanly as we all would love for it to be, but nonetheless, it is making those movements to the upside. And so yeah, you can even draw like a trend line here to see, just to kind of get a bit better visual that it is moving upwards. And this is the daily, so each candlestick represents a day of action, and price is just kind of moving up slowly but surely. But you know, these aren't pretty candles, I'll admit. You know, if you're looking here, you're seeing that price barely moved. You're seeing that, you know, not much activity happened. But the thing is with the Dow, that these movements are still really big. Even if they look small, they're still pretty big, to be honest with you. So what I'm noticing right away is that there's kind of this area here that when price kind of hit it back in March, it really pushed it down. As you can see, once it kind of topped out here, it pushed down, it retraced, and then it started to push down again. And as you can see right here in June, beginning of June, price did try to push up past this level, but it failed to, and of course it broke back down, and it's kind of been down for the past month now underneath this area. So it's interesting that now we are at this area and we're seeing that, you know, price is attempting to push past it. As you can see, every time a lower high is being created, You can still see that price is moving upwards, but it's still just kind of struggling here. So it'll be interesting to see if price ends up breaking it. Of course, if it does end up breaking, it would be nice to see kind of something like a break up, a pullback, a close above this area, a strong, solid, confirmed close, and then a push up. So of course, from a technical standpoint, that would be awesome to see. But of course, when it comes to this index, you want to definitely keep in mind the fundamental aspects as well. Just any updates about the pandemic, anything can really just change the direction of this index, and rapidly. But based on the daily, there does look like there is some intention to continue pushing up, but again, we will see. Going down to the H4, we can see there are recent higher lows, higher highs being created. Very pretty. These are pretty clear, pretty clear structure. So yeah, this is pretty clear structure. Kind of that upward channel it's moving in. So if it's able to sustain this area, then there is again more of a chance that price will continue up. I really like the H4 on pretty much any instrument that I'm analyzing. Honestly, I just feel like it just shows so much clarity. I feel like the H4 is a nice medium between the higher time frames and the lower ones. Anytime someone asks me what my favorite time frame is, I always say the H4. It just looks so pretty, honestly. I just think it looks so good. And I noticed that my eyes really like the H4 as well because, right away I was able to see this. It's very clear. It's a lot clearer than other time frames, I would say. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the H4. It's really just, we're just waiting for this break up. Again, you guys need to understand, Forex is a waiting game. It is a waiting game. You can speculate all you want, but until price does the move, until it does it, then you cannot do anything, okay? You should not be doing anything. Don't force a trade. If I'm seeing this, I shouldn't be assuming that, oh, it's gonna push up here just because of fear of missing out. I really want to catch this huge move, to the upside. I really want to get in, so I'm just going to take a buy here. It's like, no, just wait for price to play its hand. There's a higher probability trade up here if you wait for price to push up, retest, and then you can enter here with your stop loss below the zone, and then your take profit at the top of the channel. Simple as that. Honestly, it is really truly that simple. That's how I personally see it. So I don't know, to each their own, but it's patience. It's serious patience with this. So as you can see, we're on the H1 time frame, and kind of it is definitely kind of coinciding with the H4 in that you see that higher low, higher high structure, but right now we can see a bit in more detail that there is some sort of consolidation here. So price is moving sideways. We want to see it kind of get back into that type of structure because those are also the higher probability trades. In addition to zones being broken and retested, you want to actually see structure. You don't want to see price moving sideways. You want to see higher lows, higher highs, or lower highs, lower lows. Because then you're just following the trend. It's as simple as that. You catch a little piece, you get in, you get out, and you keep it moving for the day. It's the end of the week, so I'm not surprised that it's moving like this, especially when it comes to the stock market. The New York Stock Exchange, they're definitely winding down for the week. Tomorrow is Friday. I doubt that there's going to be much movement. There could be, you never know. Little things happen fundamentally that cause large pushes, but it's not as often. Even though my bias is buys right now, if I were to look for sells, I would of course want a break of this kind of channel. As you can see, there was this resistance area here. It was broken, but I mean, if it comes back down below this area, then I wouldn't be surprised if the bears come into play and that, sells can become realistic in that case. But it's pretty obvious that there is this uptrend. So we'll see. Who knows? This can shoot right down, and that's just that. Like, the Dow will do what it does. And this is why I kind of stay away from the Dow, because man, even with a 0.01, like this moves crazily. Let's just go down to the 30-minute. This is probably the lowest I'm going to go, because really at this point there's no point in looking at the lower time frames. You're just going to see these sideways candles even more detailed, but pretty much 30-minute is doing exactly, you know, the same thing, just moving very, very sideways. Very, very sideways. There's not much that it's doing. The Dow, I would say, is pretty good to trade. A lot more active, of course, during the New York Open, you know, when the stock exchange opens around 7 a.m., 8 a.m. If we even go back and see, if I go down to the hour, let's see what times these are. Yeah, so this is like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. This is right before the stock market closed around 2, 3, 4 p.m. So there's a move up here. This is really the same thing, you know, right before the stock exchange closes for the day. A huge pullback. This is during New York session. So a really good kind of practice that you can do is when you're going through these time frames, even on the 1 hour, because obviously the 1 hour shows each hour, it's a bit easier to kind of interpret. Just see when these huge pushes are. Look at the times and see the pattern. See if there is any pattern in when these pushes happen. So this big push happened during New York session as well. This happened during New York, these pushes. So, and then what you can also do is see when price is moving sideways, because then those are the times you want to avoid, right? You don't need to be sitting at a chart looking at the Dow if you know it's going to be moving sideways at a certain point. So you want to focus on, you know, sticking to the times. Again, see 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. So this is a good practice to do. Just go back. And this is kind of like back testing, I would say. You're going back and you're looking at little patterns that have happened in the past that are very relevant to what would happen in the future, just because things are happening the same over and over every single day. You're seeing these pushes. Like, look at this, same thing, you know, New York session 8, 9, 10, same thing, 8, 9, 10. This is just happening over and over, repetition. So if you take anything from this video, I think that is a very important point. Just going back and analyzing, seeing the times when price really pushes, especially for this index. But you can do it with any currency pair. You can do it with a commodity like gold or oil. Just look when price pushes, and then those are the times you can focus on, and you can, you know, look to trade during. Because really, again, like I said before, you just want to take little pieces of the move, especially with the Dow. This little piece is enough. This is a couple $100, I can assure you that, depending on obviously your lot size. But yeah, guys, I didn't want to make this video too long, just a quick analysis video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy these type of videos, these analysis videos, you want me to do more, definitely like this video, letting me know that you enjoy these type of videos, and comment down below, let me know if you do. Last but not least, do not forget to subscribe so you know when I post another video. And in the meantime, feel free to check out any of my other videos on my channel. I appreciate you guys again for watching this video, and I hope you have an amazing day, week, and life. Bye!